Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit back.
Welcome back to Live from the Heartland for the week of July 17th. I'm still Michael James here in Chicago's 49th Ward, and it's an honor and a pleasure to bring on my next guest, the one and only Swamp Dogg, a.k.a. Jerry Williams. And as Lynn Orman, our music producer, said, he's somewhere between Otis Redding and Frank Zappa. And, I've had a good time looking at a movie that he's involved with. I've had a good time looking at the cover of his cookbook, and I've listened to some of his tunes and his new album. So good day to you, Swamp Dogg.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Boy.
You're out in California. Where in California are you?
Northridge. I'm in Southern California, and I'm in Northridge.
Aha.
Yeah, which is not far from Encino, Sherman Oaks, things that people know.
Yeah, I lived in Oakland and Berkeley for a while in my life and in San Jose, but I never spent much time in Southern Cal. But anyhow, you've got a new album out. And
Yeah.
It's like Swamp Dogg Contemplates the Afterlife. And that caught my attention because I'm a little older than you, but both of us are on the backside of the mountain.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your new album.
Well, shit, ask me a question. I want a little bit about it. But that was a question, wasn't it? Steve Greenberg, who's got S-Curve Records, and I've known Steve for like 30-some years. He called me and he asked me, he said, man, let's make an album. I said, okay, cool. I was already with Old Boy, where I got an album out, but I'm with both now. So he said, man, let's make an album. He said, I just got a good feeling about a new Swamp Dogg album done kind of in the old style. And I said, yes, it sounds pretty good. I had some few songs to start off with. We knocked some of them out of the box. And we kept going through songs. And he brought on Sam Hollander. And the hell is his name? Mike. What was Mike's last name? Mike Mangini. Yeah. Mike Mangini, Sam Hollander, who are also songwriters. So with them, and then with that, my fiance, Daniela Graves, she writes her ass off. She's super. So all of us put these songs together. Some I wrote alone, and but I like writing with other people for a short time, because what happens is I get into I don't want to call it a rut, but I guess that's really what it is. I get into a musical rut, and I got to get out of it. And the only way I can get out of it is to team up with somebody who is a great writer. And that pulls me out after about 3 or 4 songs. But some people think the album is about me committing suicide or death. Hey, not me. I am not suicidal. I mean, even in my most depressed state, I got to throw this in. I remember one time when I was living in Long Island, I got so depressed that I went and got my 38 and took all the bullets out and gave them to my wife, said, put them in the garbage can, because someone kept telling me, blow your brains out, blow your brains out. Fuck you. I said, whoever you are. Yeah, so that's how much I want to live. And
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. And I'm feeling better about things at this age than I did at a younger age. It's more, well, you learn things. Damn, I wish I'd have known that back when. I wish I'd have known this back when. But hey, still got a chance to do good things. So we pulled. It didn't start out as a concept album, but it kind of started bordering on a concept album, and the concept basically is what am I preparing at this time to go into the afterlife? Not I want to get a jet plane to the afterlife. No, I just what do you want to do? And the type of things that you go through that make you want to get it together, like Knock Knock Memories, one of the songs. It's just, I'm thinking that it's about my wife, because I think about her all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but most of my time. Because we were together for a very, 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 very long and happy time. And it's songs on there like Daddy's Little Girl, Final Approach, which is, we got it on a plane crash, really. That's what. Have you had to listen to Final Approach?
I haven't listened to much of the album except a couple of songs.
Okay, shame on you.
I'm gonna. And I was watching the movie too. Let me ask you about one of the songs you do on that album is by John Prine, who had a significant run of activity here in Chicago. You want to tell us a little bit about your friendship with him?
Well, my friendship with him started in 1968 when he was signed to Atlantic, and I had just been hired as I was the first black in-house producer for Atlantic. Atlantic was getting hits on black artists galore, but they didn't have a black in-house producer, so they needed one for window dressing, and that's what I became, because they had CORE, NAACP, the Fair Play Committee. All of them was coming down on Atlantic because, they had the chart full of black records. And wait a minute now. Mr. My point.
John Prine.
Yeah, right. Sorry, John. So they brought John to me, and he had this song, Sam Stone.
I know that song.
Yeah. And I heard a great songwriter. That's what I thought. And I was right. But I don't know why they brought him to me to this day, when they had just made me head of A&R, black A&R. There wasn't nothing black about John. And I like what he was doing. I like I like what songs he had at that time. And I had a list that Atlantic had given me of artists that they were getting ready to drop. And they had John on the list. Now, and the thing was, see, they really didn't have nothing for me to do. They hadn't thought out what they were going to do. They just wanted to close that gap, that black gap in-house. So the people that I wanted to cut would remain on the labels for 6 months. They would give them a 6-month extension. The other ones, they were like zapped right away, which they did. And the people that was on that list was like John Prine, the Commodores, Patti LaBelle, the Drifters, the Precisions out of Detroit. Everybody had a hit record. And I didn't cross them off. But Atlantic only gave me one shot with them. In that, like, okay, if this next record, I almost had a smash on Patti LaBelle, which would have been equal to the Lady Marmalade. I knew she needed another bag to be in. I had a thing called Dance to the Rhythm of Love. Look it up one time if you get a chance. It's, so I recorded them. I recorded all those artists and C in the Shells, who were the Sand Pebbles on Calla Records. They had Never My Love. And they were over. So from the Sand Pebbles, they became C and the Shells because Calla kept the name. And
Swamp Dogg, let me break in here and throw something else at you. I'll keep you going. Here we go. One of the things that's going on in our country these days is a lot of talk about swimming pools, and the guy in the White House painting and repainting and dealing with swimming pools. You got a swimming pool, and you got a movie out about you that's called Swamp Dogg Gets His Pool Painted.
Yeah.
And that movie has got a little bit of a kind of, it's pretty popular. It was here in Chicago, played for, I think, a month, for 3 days. I have only seen some of it, getting ready to talk to you today. But tell us a little bit about the movie and how it's doing.
Okay, well, it's on Prime Video now. And I was talking to the president of the company couple of gigs back, and he's still happy with it. It's moving. I mean, like, it hasn't gone backwards, and although it's not like doing a torpedo type thing, but it's kind of holding its own. And he thinks it'll be around for a few years, maybe more. So, in
the movie, you got your roommates are in the movie, like you got Mook Star is in it, and I think Guitar Shorty's in it.
Yeah,
tell us about those guys, because I think they're your housemates.
Yeah. Well, Guitar Shorty, he passed, and but before he passed, he had been here 18 years. He came here. He had called me up one day to tell me that he was thinking about moving back to California, and he needed a place to stay while he found him a place to stay. And he said, well, man, you got a lot of room there. Can I bunk at your place? I said, sure, man, ain't no problem, but a month or something like that. So I looked around, it was 18 years before. And so, but he was great. I mean, he had a good heart, a big heart, and we got along. Yeah, we got along fabulously. And kind of the same thing with Moog Star. A friend of mine, now deceased, Wally Roker, who was a legend in the music business as far as breaking records as a promo man and having his own label, which was Canyon Records. He wanted to do something with Moog Star. He introduced me to Moog Star. And he told me, he said, man, I think you and this guy together can do a lot. And we met on the telephone, we talked the whole thing. I said, okay, yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do together. And we worked on some things, and we're still working on things. And that's how he ended up here. In the meantime, I've had people that come back and forth, like Norman Whitfield. Well, he's not Norman Anthony Whitfield, who is Norman Whitfield's son. He produces, and he's a #1 engineer. I mean, he engineered all kind of things for Richard Perry and just a ton of stuff. And for his father, because he had Rolls Royce and you name it, all those great acts, the Temptations and all of that. So he brought Norman into the business. And he's lived here too a couple of times. And now, he's like, I see him at least once a week. And I've just, Luther Ingram has been here and stayed for, he had that, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. He was on a Stax distributed label. But, I've had a lot of people that passed through here. And because I know how I have been a few times, people had to put me up when I was Little Jerry and Little Jerry Williams, the category. Took me years to figure out how to get known and not be compared to anyone, because I was like the world's greatest time killer. I mean, if you wanted somebody to kill time on stage before the star, hey, get Little Jerry or then become Little Jerry Williams. And I had a couple chart records as both. So, I'm trying to say so much.
Let me jump in again here.
Thank you.
Back when you were Little Jerry Williams, is that when you were really hitting it and you had 9 different cars?
No, that's when I became Swamp Dogg. Jerry Williams still remained obscure, really, except Jerry Williams never really had a record that went national, except, one, I'm the Lover Man, which was a nice size pop hit, but blacks wouldn't play it. Black stations, they wouldn't touch it. They said I was trying to be white. Well, hey, forget that. But I had written the song for Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons in the first place. And while they were in the studio, they didn't cut it. They decided, they ran out of time. So the producers at that time took me into the studio and said, this song is too good for not to be recorded. So they recorded it on me, a guy by the name of Frank Slade. So,
I'm jumping in again, Swamp Dogg, because I want you to, there was a time that you were running with Jane Fonda and other people during the FTA period, the Free the Army or the F the Army.
Yeah.
And the FBI came after you, et cetera. Tell us a little bit about that time in your life.
Okay, that started when I became Swamp Dogg. I came out the box with protest music, and I was on Canyon Records with I had a hit called Mama's Baby and Daddy's Maybe, which was real gut bucket blues, but it's so good. And then he went out of business, and I went to, Elektra wanted me. So I signed with Elektra. And when I got with Jane Fonda, I didn't totally understand what I was doing, but Elektra dropped me within the same year that I had signed with them. And the record would take, I had written a song called God Bless America for What? And, but I had used the part of the line was, God bless America. And then my part was, unless they know what for. Now, they dropped me. And, wait a minute. It's interesting.
So Elektra drops you because you're like doing anti-war stuff.
Yeah. They did. And we had, when we protested at the Washington Monument, Jane Fonda this was Jane Fonda's thing. And my attorney at the time hooked me up with Jane Fonda, Donald Sutherland, and all of them, and said, hey, do you want to do this? I said, yeah, okay. And he said, well, you don't get paid, but expenses are mother gator, said, so although you didn't make no money, you could still put in $2,000 or $3,000 a day as your expenses, which was all right with me. I didn't set the rules. I liked the whole idea of being out there. And we did a documentary and everything. And then Jane went over to Vietnam and was taking pictures on the tank. And people got a little pissed about that. And it was being set up real good. They were even talking about something that I don't think really would have happened at that time. But they wanted to do a remake of Humphrey Bogart's Casablanca.
Wow.
with me and Jane Fonda, right? So I was going to be Bogart. And yeah.
That would be a good one. Besides doing all this music and all that, you got a movie out now, but you also have a cookbook out. And I really love the name of it. If you can kill it, I can cook it.
Yeah.
So how often do you cook, and what's the most exotic animal that was killed for you to cook?
Well, I really don't lean towards no real exotic ones, like people eating peacocks and all that kind of stuff. I give the pig hell. I cook everything that's on him. But there are dishes that I learned from my aunts and grandmothers in Virginia. Like I got one in there called Portsmouth, Virginia. I think Libby's tomato pudding. Libby was my aunt, and every time I say tomato pudding, people go, "What? I never heard of no tomato pudding." But let me tell you, man, it's delicious, and it's simple. It's
tomato is a fruit.
Yeah, it is. And it's a simple dish to prepare, and people like it. They when we did the cowboy cruise a few months back, they on the ship they did five of my dishes, and right. had it like eat with Swamp Dogg. Lit up, neon kind of thing. And it went over good. Went over real good. Somebody kind of missed the beat in making the tomato pudding. It wasn't quite like what I had in the book. I checked my book. I said, nah. But anyway.
Let me ask you one more thing. We only got a couple minutes left. And I'd like you to dig deep and tell me what was the biggest transformation in your life? What was some event that put you on a different path or enhanced the path you were on? Can you think of something?
The biggest, I've had some things that happen big, like when Gary U.S. Bonds and I wrote She's All I Got, and it was, gold for Freddie North, gold for Johnny Paycheck. Years later, it was gold for Tracy Byrd, and it's platinum for Tracy Byrd, come to think of it. And though there's great periods, and then there's the period where you feel like you ain't worth a damn.
I know that one.
Yeah, so there's a lot of highlights. There's a lot of things that I hold dear, but I can't just break it down to one. But being the one.
Well, Swamp Dogg, I want to thank you for coming on. Your roommate Moog Star told me I should come out there. You guys know people with horses. I'll be in California sooner or later, and I'd love to meet up with you in person. I want everybody